Okay, let's start at the very beginning, like before you even got here. You had offers to go to different places. Why did you choose to come to WCCO 30 years ago?
30 years ago. Honestly, the reason I chose to come to WCCO is I had an interview in Atlanta and I had an interview in Philadelphia, which is really close to where my parents lived, and I came to CCO. I know this sounds strange, but I think when I walked in, I met the people and the reputation of CCO, first of all, but just the people were great. So I've had this feeling, and I got an offer from Atlanta, got an offer from CCO. Best decision I ever made, coming to CCO, to Minneapolis.
Tell me more about the people. Like, what was it about them that drew you to this place?
Well, first of all, they were kind. They were very nice, very passionate about what they were doing. And there's a lightness, so it just felt like home.
So it was a gut decision.
It was a gut decision. It was my intuition, I will say. And
when,
I trusted, yeah.
Yeah, you're big on intuition.
I'm very big.
So when you started, did you feel like you'd made the right choice? Like, what were those early days like for you working here?
No, I definitely made the right choice. I think I made the right choice. I made the right choice not only because of the station, I made the right choice because of the community, because of the state. It felt right.
That's great.
It felt right to see how everybody was serious about the job and passionate about the job, but not serious about themselves. Like, people still had fun and people were very supportive. This business is very competitive.
Yes.
And especially, I think for a lot of females, it's competitive, right? I worked in many stations where people were competitive with each other. I didn't feel that at this station. I felt like people supported one another.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I think that's still true today.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good evening, I'm Jim King.
And I'm Amelia Santaniello.
But your first gig, you weren't the main anchor like you are now. What was the first gig, and then how did it lead to the anchor role?
Hi, I'm Amelia Santaniello, one of the newest faces on the WCCO news team.
When I first came here, they said you're going to be either the weekend anchor or we're going to make you a noon anchor with Bill Carlson. So there was another woman, and I guess they were just kind of testing us to see which one would go to what show. So I ended up being the weekend anchor, which was great. Was the weekend anchor and then reported 3 days a week. And then within 6 months, Cindy Hilger, who was a 5 o'clock anchor, ended up moving and going to KCBS to LA with her husband, John Culleton, who was the general manager. And then 6 months after that, Colleen Needles, who was the 6 and 10 o'clock anchor, ended up leaving. So I replaced the weekend anchor, Amy, and she left after 10 years here because she figured the main anchors weren't going anywhere. And then within a year, they both left. I mean, they were anchors who had been here for years. And so I look at it as timing, really. Timing and luck, kind of.
Lucky for us.
Nah.
Yeah. So then Ted promoted you, and then you started working with Don, and you guys did the show for a long time together.
Many of you made plans for the year 2000.
I started working, I did the 5 and 6 first, and then I started doing the 10 for many years.
Here's a question that I don't think we've ever talked about. Did they come to me first about anchoring with you, or did they come to you first and say, we're thinking about getting your husband? I don't think we've ever talked about this. Do you know?
I don't remember. It's been 30 years. It's been 20 years.
It has been 20 years.
Can we talk about that?
I don't know. I was just kind of curious. Did they say, hey, we're...
No. You know what? They came, I don't want to say they, but our news director at the time came to me and asked what I thought about it. And would it be something that I thought would work? Would it be okay with me? And do you think, would you want to do it?
What did you say when he said, would you be okay maybe working with your husband, in theory?
I don't think I thought it through. I said, sure. Well, I did. No, I thought, well, why not? Yeah. I'm glad they came to me, though. They asked me.
Yeah. Well, that wouldn't be bad.
It's really funny because, as you know, when we started anchoring together, I thought, we're married. Of course this is going to be great. But we have totally different working personalities, I think.
Yeah, it was a much rougher transition than I thought it would be.
You know what I think it was?
Behind the scenes, anyway.
Yes, because I had been here at that point 10 years, so I had built-in trust. Like I trusted people. You were just learning who is who, and you're very intense. I don't want to say kind of, you're very intense. So I get that now. You were trying to establish that trust, but I had already had that trust, so I was very comfortable.
What do you mean by I'm very intense?
I don't know what else. Is this interview about you or is it about me?
I'm just going down where the questions lead.
You're intense.
Okay.
You're intense.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with that. You're just intense.
Well, I have a lot of passion like you do about
Yeah.
the job. Okay, speaking of, let's talk about big stories. And we've had a lot of them here. Yeah, what stands out for you?
I was thinking about that. I wanted to go a little chronologically because I remember Red River flooding. That was the big story when I got here, right? It was the Red River flooding.
96, 97.
Yeah, that was huge. I covered the St. Peter tornado, went to St. Peter and covered that. The Metrodome, these are all kind of weather related, I know that. Those were the big ones, but then now as we start moving up, I think the big one that stands out to me is Jacob Wetterling, right? We had been covering that forever, and then all of a sudden, it's like 27 years later, a man admits his involvement. That was like a bittersweet moment, sad moment, but yet some closure for the family.
Big deal, and our station had a lot to do with that, and we knew about it before it even
Absolutely
came out. That was interesting.
That was
and
interesting.
sad.
Very sad, really sad. The death of Prince. I mean, we were wall-to-wall coverage for that. You know, every time that happens, you go, "Is this real? Is this really happening?" It's like with the 35W bridge collapse. I'll never forget when that went down. We heard it on the radio, and then when I heard bridge collapse, we were all talking about it. All I could think of was a small bridge collapsing, not an interstate.
We were on the air together.
We were on the air together for that.
I remember the first, we got a phone call before we had a live video feed. And in that phone call, I remember hearing how panicked our reporters were. They were breathless, and I could just tell by their emotion
that it was big.
Right. Remember that?
I do remember that.
Yeah.
That's when we were like, it is the interstate and not some like railroad, you know, one of those small bridges crossings.
What else?
Oh gosh. Okay. So just, I would say the pandemic, and just in recent years, in the last 6 years, we've had so many stories. It's just been a relentless news cycle, and we've been at the epicenter of everything, I feel like, because we had the pandemic. Well, everybody went through that. Then there was the death of George Floyd. There was the civil unrest and the riots. There was, oh my gosh, the assassination of Melissa Hortman and her husband, that horrible shooting at Annunciation. We have the fraud case, Operation Metro Surge. I mean, it's been really nonstop. We have packed in the last 5-6 years, not just local state news, but international news, you know?
How are you, I know you're not happy we're covering it because there's a lot of sadness associated with it, but I mean, how do you cope with the intensity of all that?
I didn't realize I wasn't coping until I got my foot surgery. And that month off, and it was just like, compression.
There's a lot of heavy stuff.
Sorry, just getting a little. It's not an interview unless I cry.
I kind of think, as we talked about it, you know, we have this different relationship, but I think emotionally, the hardest stuff, I remember two things. I remember
Annunciation?
I remember the photographer. We did a story with a photographer whose daughter had cancer.
Oh, yeah, that was tough.
And died, and she was the exact same age as our daughter. She was 13 when it happened, and I remember bawling about that and crying about it on air too. Do you remember that one?
Star Tribune photographer.
Right.
Yep.
And then I think the other hardest big story was Annunciation, because we know so many of those people and we live so close to the school.
100%. It's really, really difficult. I think that for me, I think it got covering the news. I know it's our job, and it's our job to, you know, provide the information as we learn it, let people know what's going on. I think once having kids, it's really, it's changed.
How so?
Well, you have sympathy. I think when you have kids, you start to have like empathy. Do you know what I mean? Like you put your kids in that place of that. And that's the way you look at it. And you can really feel. Maybe a little bit more difficult because it's harder to hold the emotions in. Whereas before, I think I was much better at I could report it. I could kind of remove myself from it.
I feel like because, as opposed to being on the set with someone that's not you, but because of the level of trust and our marriage and our relationship, I tend to be much more emotional on the air reporting next to you than I used to be. Do you find that?
I'm just emotional anyway. But I think there is a level of trust there with you beside me. So I think there's also a level, it's comforting too.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Well, it's led to us crying a lot on live television.
True. That is true. Or in interviews. Right.
The opposite of that, we've had a lot of great laughs and memories. What is it about this place and the people that's kept you here this long? You've had opportunities to do other things. Why stay at WCCO the whole time?
Well, definitely the people, right? I know it's a legacy station too, and everybody here I feel like is really proud and of the product that we produce, and they're passionate about it, passionate about storytelling. So this is like a second home for me. I mean, we have been through with people in front of beside me and behind the cameras. We've been through so many changes and milestones and laughter and experiences together. It's like I said, it's like a second home, a second family. So that's why 30 years, as you know, in the television business is rare. But we've had how many people here, though, who've been here more than 30 years, between Don Shelby, Mark Rosen. There have been several, so I feel really blessed to be in the same position that they were in.
Yeah, you're one of those people now. Do you think of yourself that way?
My God. No, I don't. I really don't.
What about this community? I mean, we decided to make this our home and raise our kids here.
Yeah.
What are the things you like about being a Minnesotan?
What do I like about I told you when I first came here, it felt like home. I feel like this is a community that has a soul, People here genuinely care about making this a better place for everyone. They care about each other. And I think we witnessed that, the world witnessed that this past January. So as much as there is like division in the world, division in the country, I still think at the core here in this community, people care about each other. So I feel really blessed that we raised our kids in this type of community.
I do too. Yeah, we're really lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of unique Minnesota things that I think people who don't spend all of their life here realize or appreciate.
Yeah, half my life I've spent here in Minnesota.
Did you ever think back in the day that you would be in one place at one TV station for as much as we move around early in our career for 30 years?
I wanted that because I'll never forget when I interviewed here, Ted and John, when they were interviewing me, one of the questions was, what do you want? Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? And I said, I just want to establish roots. I grew up in Air Force, and my father was in the Air Force traveling all the time. This job is moving around all the time. I think I reached the point where it's like, I just want some roots. I want to settle. And this is where I came, and like I said, it felt like home, and it ended up being home.
When we first met, did you ever see a situation in your head where we would be working together and be the anchored married couple?
No, I didn't. I didn't see that because you had a successful career across the city, and I had a good career here. So no, I didn't think of that at all. And by the way, I don't know if people believe this, but when we were working at competing stations, you and I would not talk about work, really. Like, I didn't know what was going on over there, and you didn't know what was going on over here at CCO. We had no idea, and especially stories, because we're both hyper competitive.
I only remember once I knew a blockbuster huge story, and I remember before it came out, I remember kind of rubbing it in your face a little bit, going, this thing's going to be massive.
The walleye?
Boyd Hooper's walleye story.
Mm-hmm. I still remember that.
And it was a big deal. But other than that, I didn't tell you what it was.
Yeah, no, you didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I remember. Yeah.
Well, sounds like you're holding a grudge.
That's okay. We're on the same team now.
Yeah, you should focus on all the great things we've done together for 20 years.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
What else is important that you want people to know about your career, about this place, about the station, about the unusual situation that we're in working together? Anything come to mind that you want folks to know?
No, just that I just feel really blessed and honored to have lasted 30 years here at one station, and at a station that has just such a legacy, of great storytellers and being a part of this wonderful community.
Yeah, I think we've done some really good, important work as a collective group.
Oh, definitely. You're talking about the station?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's really interesting because you see people, and we have such a new group of reporters that have come in now who are really good at what they do, and they're so passionate about it, which I love to see, because our business is changing so much, the way people get their news and watching and how, all of that. So it's just really nice to see that you still have people who believe in true journalism.
We talked about all the heavy stuff we had to cover, but we've done a lot of great community events and road trips and things like that. What stands out in that world?
I have to say, I love the state fair. I know that sounds crazy, but I love the state fair. I loved it the minute I came to the state fair. First time there, like, people tried to prepare me for it and tell me, you're not going to believe this. And I couldn't believe it. But I love the state fair. I love being able to be with our viewers and experience Minnesota life at the fair together and with our coworkers and friends. So I do love the state fair.
And our kids.
And our children.
Yeah,
yes, our children love the state fair too. And I love going to the lake. Going to the lake was a lot of fun. And you know what? Going to the lake, like, together and just really hanging out with our co-workers, friends, going to these lakes and being in the community. It's so great. All these communities that, we report on or don't report on and should report on. So it's showing the good of that community. So all of that, I love all of that.
Yeah.
Not the winter going to the lake. I'm okay with the winter going. Summer going to the lake is a lot of fun.
Well, I thought it was a great franchise because it got to showcase these communities, and
Absolutely.
This is such a outdoor, nature, environmental state.
So many good memories, so many great memories. Going to Luck, Wisconsin, and Rosie injured himself, and I had to do all the work as Rosie sat there by a fireplace and read his book. Yes, all those great memories. We had fun together too.
Yeah, those trips were.
Maxie, it's just you know what it is? It's not only getting out into the community and having a wonderful time and getting to know the community and getting to know people, meeting people there. It's really hanging out and bonding with our crew, the people we work with, and you're in a position of spending time together that you normally wouldn't spend that much time together.
Road trip.
Road trip. Stunning news today about the loss of a hometown favorite, a true icon. Oh, people do ask that all the time about what it's like working with you. I'm going to be honest. The first 6 months were rough. They were rough because I didn't know what you were going to say. I didn't know what, you would, by the way, you would talk about anything and everything on there. That's why I didn't know what you were going to say, like personal stuff you'd throw out there. But then after a while, I loosened up a little bit and I relaxed a little bit because I realized, with my other co-anchors, I would talk about personal things on the air and say stuff. So, and then now there's, like I said, a level of trust there and a level of comfort there that I don't think I've ever had. Well, I know I've never had with any of my other co-anchors.
Well, that's good news.
Yeah, that is, because I'm married to you. So yeah, that is good news.
Sorry about those first 6 months.
Yeah. It was an adjustment period, that's all.
Yeah.
It was fine.
I'm kind of particular about stuff.
Kind of. All right.
Nothing
Understatement.
wrong. Nothing wrong with standards.
Okay. I have them too. I'm just not crazy.
And I'm Amelia Santaniello. So exciting. We are here with the actual tour bus.
Where do I get my clothes? I get my clothes everywhere. I go online a lot. Since I was young, I have loved style, fashion. It's kind of a way for people to express themselves, and it's personal, right? Everybody's kind of personal. So there are people, it's subjective. So there are people who, oh gosh, would write in, what is that you wore? Oh, I'll never forget. The bangs, my haircut. Remember when I got the bangs? That was before, I feel like that was on the cusp of the internet. The phone calls, the phone was ringing off the hook about my bangs. So style, I just do what I like and feel comfortable in.
Well, I think you're always kind of on trend and so well put together and have such cool clothes. I hear it from women all the time.
Well, that's really nice. That's really nice. And thank you. And I have friends who are very stylish.
So you're copying?
Not really copying, but we just kind of throw things around.
Yeah.
We have different styles, but they're stylish.
Do you think people would be surprised to know that in the attic of our home, you have more shoes than Imelda Marcos?
Oh my gosh, I do. I'm guilty. I'm guilty. I need to start partying with them. I need to start partying with them. I know. You know what the problem is? I hold on to things. And I'm like, ooh, that one will come back in style. So there's stuff up there for 30 plus years up there.
It's a lot of shoes.
It's a lot of stuff. I have a problem. I've gotten better.
Thank you for admitting you have a problem.
Yeah.
I've not seen any evidence that you're getting any better, but at least acknowledging it might be the first step.
It is.
We didn't talk about the future. I know you still love doing this. What do you see down the road?
I have to tell you, since my schedule going on the 4 o'clock show, it's been, for me, it's like a new lease on life. It's a new show, and I get to do different things, different interviews, going out and doing stories, having people come in and doing stories. So I don't know, I really enjoy it, and I have my nights off. I still do the 6 with you. I know that, so your question is, what do I see the future? I don't know. I don't know, because I think for a long time, for the last 5-6 years, the relentless news cycle was starting to get to me. So this change of pace has been so great. It's very refreshing, and I've enjoyed it, which is nice.
And less time around your intense husband, which has got to be a comfort or a relief.
I do live with you, so
oh, there is that. Can't escape everything.
No.
No.
It's good. It's been good for us.
Yeah, I'm happy for you. I'm happy
Thanks.
for you. I can tell it's kind of like re-energized you.
It has.
Which is great. People have choices, when they pick up a remote, and fortunately a good chunk of them choose to watch you or me or us. What do you say to those folks?
I say thank you. Thank you for welcoming me. Thank you for supporting me. And thank you for giving me a sense of belonging.
Are you going to cry again?
I got to stop. It's intense.